3 weeks ago, you could say I was a pure Windows user, and look at me now. Apple recently released this new thing called the Macbook Neo, and since I've always seen MacBooks as less accessible devices, the price of this one really caught my attention. Upfront, this is not a full review, we'll get to that in 2 to 3 weeks. For now, let's just take a look at it and go over some first impressions after unboxing and booting it up. The first thing that absolutely blew me away was the build. I do remember the old 12-inch MacBook, but I didn't expect Apple to give a device in this entry-level category a full metal body like this. I'm telling you, I can barely hold some of the Windows laptops anymore. They pretty much feel like toys compared to these solid metal builds. Now, it comes in several colors with different colored keyboards. I've got the silver one with the white keyboard, and unless you're buying something for a kid or want to stand out, this is just the way to go. Apple knows design, and the silver MacBook Neo is simply a safe bet. What's not exactly a safe bet are these two ports. They could have gone a bit further here, but they know why they didn't. We've got one USB 3 port that also supports DisplayPort with a single display output, and then a USB 2 port which will mainly be used for charging since it's much slower and you'll need some way to charge this anyway. I probably would have preferred one on each side, but I won't be too harsh. However, we still have a headphone jack, which apparently isn't as dead as it might seem, and then these two unusual strips that act as speakers. So, no front-facing speakers, but side-firing ones, but we'll test those later. The top here is classic Apple, but I really like the rounded corners, and the bottom is just completely standard. Inside, at least in my case, you're greeted with a white keyboard, which, as some of you might have noticed, doesn't have Touch ID. Touch ID is only available in the higher configuration, and the same goes for keyboard backlighting. Whether that's a deal breaker or not, we'll talk about it in the full review once I had more time with it. One thing I don't need more time to judge is the keyboard quality. Like on all modern Macs, it's just excellent. Not everybody knows this, but I also review keyboards, which some of them are third or half of the entire price of this MacBook. I absolutely love Mac keyboards, and this one is just as good. What might be a bit more questionable is the trackpad, because it's not haptic, it's mechanical. I used to hate mechanical trackpads on Windows laptops, so I was a bit worried. Thankfully, it's not a disaster at all. It clicks evenly across the whole surface, has great responsiveness, but for me it's a bit louder, especially since I usually use the lowest haptic setting on haptic trackpads. There's definitely potential here, but I'm curious how I'll feel after longer use. Another thing that will take some getting used to is this LCD display. Don't get me wrong, it has great resolution, especially for something this small and relatively affordable, but visually something feels off and I haven't quite figured out what yet. So I'll definitely be paying closer attention to that in the full review. Now, the biggest controversy around the MacBook Neo is the chip Apple chose. It runs on the A18 Pro, which basically means this is a grown-up iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I won't dive deep into performance comparisons right now, but if you're curious, the performance should be similar to or slightly better than the first generation M1 chips. And Apple kept things pretty consistent because unlike other modern MacBooks, this one comes with only 8GB of RAM. For Windows users, that's probably a joke, but I'm not writing it off yet. Apple handles RAM pretty efficiently, and we have to remember a few things. This device exists for a few simple reasons. First, Apple can produce massive amounts of A18 Pro chips at a very low cost, which helps keep both their costs and the final price of the MacBook Neo down. Second, especially in the US, the MacBook Neo is targeting Chromebooks and trying to enter spaces it couldn't before, mainly due to price, like educational institutions. And third, Apple wants to get its devices into the hands of kids and non-Apple users at the lowest possible prices so they can try them, work on them, get used to them, and later, when they need more power or choose their next device, they'll go straight for the MacBook. The MacBook Neo is clearly a strategic move, and that's the mindset I'm taking into this testing phase. I want to see what it's like for everyday use, how it feels to work on it, what you can actually do with this configuration, and most importantly, whether all these compromises affect overall experience. And that's it for me now. I'll see you again in 2 to 3 weeks in the full review. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And I'll leave you with a quick speaker sound test at the end. Bye!